Hello everyone, what's up? Pitmarthroy here, and you'll notice that I didn't even bother taking the time to pause the video to let you see my stats, but I'll be nice, I'll do it. Welcome back to Fantasy Farm here on Stardew Valley. Today is the final episode of fall, at least year one of fall. As you can tell, the pumpkins are ready. And I've got a couple plans in mind. I didn't really, think it super through, but I kind of have a pretty good idea of some things that I do want to do. Today's going to be a little bit of a weird one because the Halloween festival, or Spirit's Eve if you prefer, is going to kind of block me from doing a lot of things I wanted to do because the shops will not be open and we can't even get into town because the festival is being set up there. Because that festival doesn't start until 10, we won't be seeing that message for quite a while. But even despite that, there are definitely some things that I can do today. So I think those will be what ideally we are planning for. Swing up here real quick and grab these. No, I don't need to eat the broccoli. I need to put that in the dehydrator. There we go. If you'll remember from the last episode, we did pick up the ancient seed. I'm not going to be able to donate that today because, again, we can't get into town, which is a bit unfortunate, but, you know, what are you going to do? So we're going to hang on to that for the time being. And I don't really think I need to keep any of this other than that eggplant. Because, at some point, yeah, I might want more pumpkins, but I can always just use the seed maker here and turn those into pumpkin seeds and plant those in the greenhouse if I wanted, better quality stuff. I think I'll put in, 5 more. The rest I'm content to sell and make a fair bit of money here. So what am I going to do today? Well, I thought today might be a good day to work on fishing-related stuff. And believe it or not, part of that's actually going to involve these crab pots here. So we're going to grab some wood, craft a few more of these. I think we have enough for about 3. Yep. And ideally we can get a 7th one here in a second while I'm kind of milling about. But what we're going to do is we're going to use a little bit of a trick that I think I've mentioned before, and that's that even though we can't go into town, we can go around town, we can get to the beach by sort of, I wouldn't really call it a glitch. You're going to warp and just go warp past town to the ocean with the warp totem, and then we're going to warp back. We've got these totems, we've had them for a while, we might as well make good use of them, other than me just warping back home at the end of the day without having to, take the bus or anything like that. So, we'll actually see a little bit of a different use for them for once. Could you put in the right thing? There you go. While those iron bars are going, we can, of course, work on our animal stuff in here. So if you take a look at our fishing menu, you might think, oh, you've probably caught, the vast majority of fish, right? Surely you have. You've been, fishing nonstop, at least very much in the summer and the spring you did a lot, so it would only stand to reason that you've probably collected most of those by now. You would think so, but if you actually take a look upon further inspection, as soon as I can actually select the right animal there. I don't know why it didn't let me do that, but there we go. Upon further inspection, if you take a look, you can see, not really, huh? Yeah. Some of these we haven't been able to get because, here, these aren't in an area we have access to. These right here, these 3, these are winter fish, and some other ones are winter fish. But if you look more closely, you're like, hang on, a clam? You've definitely gotten a clam, an oyster, a mussel, a periwinkle. You've gotten these objects before. Why are they not showing up? Well, part of the reason is because they don't show up if you've collected them by foraging on the beach. They only count as a collection if you've gotten them through the crab pot. And if you're thinking, wow, that's kind of stupid, good news, I agree with you. It feels like it should still count, but for whatever reason, it does not. So, because it does not count, we're going to go ahead and finally get some of those crab pots out. I knocked them a bunch, but this is the only way to do it. So this is what we are stuck with and what we're going to do. So, I do believe we need regular bait for these. So we'll bring as many as we got, and let's warp. So the way the crab pots work is you can basically just stick them in any body of water. I think I've said this before, but they are unique in the fact that you can technically place them outside of a boundary that you yourself, the player, can reach, and it's one of very few items that you can actually do that with. So all you gotta do is just plop them down wherever, stick a piece of bait in, and then come back the next day, and it will have something. I've mentioned it before, but the big reason that this is not great is... I don't suppose the tell's open, is it? No, it's not open. It's locked. Man, Willie, I was gonna buy the fishing rod from you, and it looks like now I'm not gonna be able to do that. I actually was gonna get it today. Try to help with catching things fast. That was why I brought the deluxe bait with me, but no dice, I'm afraid. Regardless, the reason that I've said the crab pots are not great is because a high majority of the time they just tend to pull up just trash objects. Which, if you're looking for trash objects, that's great. But if you're, you know, looking for the actual items, not so much. But you can get a fair bit from them. The oysters, the periwinkles, the crawfish, the lobsters. There are things you can get there, and since they are somewhat required for doing this, I do think that means that we will end up using them. So even though we couldn't get the fishing rod, at least we were able to go ahead and drop that off. So I guess for now, while we wait, we'll just head into the mines. It might make catching things a little bit more difficult, more so time-wise than anything, but we'll see how things go, I suppose. You know what? Before I head there, actually, before I head to the mines, I feel like this is going to be one of the better opportunities I have to get my fishing past level 10. So if we've got that opportunity, we might as well take it. Of course, I'm not going to bite into this until I get to a... get into the mines themselves. I might actually work backwards since the lowest one is unsurprisingly going to be the hardest one to catch. There are 3 things we're looking for. Technically the ghost fish as well, and we'll probably get one, but floors 20, 60, and 100 are the different floors that you need in order to find the 3 various fish that are exclusive to those individual floors each. Fittingly, since we were just talking about it, the big bulk of the time, what you're going to fish up here is going to either be trash, or it's going to be algae, which is not technically considered trash, but you get the idea. But every so often, you will actually get a fish down here, and it's looking like this might actually be what I'm looking for. It is. Wow, that lava eel put up no fight at all. They're usually a little bit more finicky than that. Ideally, I would love to be able to grab 2 of each, but the lava eel is the one I would like to grab multiple of to be able to sell. I think it's decently common knowledge by now that using lava eels in a fish pond can give you pretty good results. But I'd just like to have a second one to keep on hand, honestly. And I'm usually that way with most fish. That one might be more so to remind myself to come back down here and get more, and less on the case of trying to give it to somebody if they request it. If they do that, I'll probably just end up not giving them that for the quest. See if we can get a little bit more luck here. It would be appreciated. Like with all bodies of water in the fishing area, the farther away you are from any solid ground, the better items you'll get. So do try to cast out as far away as you can. Don't just drop it in the water, because that actually does decrease your chances. You wouldn't think it would, but it absolutely does. And since these are kind of harder ones to both catch and also to have them bite on your lure, then you're going to want every advantage you can get here. I think if I don't get it by 3, I might just go ahead and move on, and if I've got time, I'll come back here. In a way, though, I am kind of glad, at least momentarily, that it's having me catch trash, because I'm sure the first one that I caught being the lava eel, you're like, oh, that wasn't hard at all. That took you, like, no time at all to do. But yeah, this is more what you should be expecting while you're fishing down here, so I hope, at least, past me, probably did not mention it, but if you saw these areas and were like, oh, cool, this is another area to fish, hopefully you didn't, like, waste a full day coming down here at a low-level fishing, expecting to get, like, a lot of cool, rare stuff, because this is probably more like what you ended up with. It was probably just a bunch of pieces of trash, which kind of sucks, but what are you going to do? But yeah, here you go. Level 13, you actually can, in fact, go over on your levels, which is pretty cool. So yeah, it does in fact count over. It does show you that it counts over, and that does add to some of your stats as well. So we've got the lava eel. Now we're hoping for a fish called the ice pip, I believe. Ah, we haven't gotten that either, too. Yeah, you can pick up jellies in the cave as well, which are, well, they're called cave jellies. Same as you could with the ocean or the river jellies. So those are available here as well. And yes, as I mentioned, the algae is, of course, ever prevalent. It's like, I feel like we have enough time to theoretically get all 3 of these. I don't know if we will. I would be happy with being able to get 2 of them. So if I could get the ice pit before I've got to leave, that would be good. We can just take the minecart and just warp directly into town, so we're not, like, in a bad position to be able to get there quickly. And I believe, they said get there at 10 p.m., but I believe it's 10 p.m. until midnight is when you can get there. There's a ghost fish. That might be one you technically need to catch, because most of the time by this point, you've probably gotten them from an enemy drop, probably a ghost dropped one, but you do have to actually fish it up proper. That said, it's not going to be hard to find those, as they are decently common. At the very least, they're more common than the ice pip lava eel and the one that's on floor 20, which is the stonefish, which is shaped like a giant brick. It looks really weird. But odds are, if you manage to get the rarer ones, you've probably already fished up a stonefish in the process of doing that. Alright, can we get a little bit of good luck here? Or maybe just anything to bite at all. That said, as not great as fishing here can potentially be, if you are looking for algae to build anything or, like, you know, cooking recipe, this is a very, very good place to do it. This will pretty consistently give it to you. And as you've noticed, it can be white or green in the same area. Whereas opposed to, like, the river, I don't think you can get white algae. You can get green decently consistently, but if you are looking for algae, this is a pretty good spot to go. I don't know if you can pick it up on the lava floor, but as you can see here you can, and I'm very sure on floor 20 you can as well. Can we get a... No, this is looking like a ghost fish again. Pretty much all 3 of the rare fish in here. Theoretically, I don't know why the lava eel didn't. We'll move decently erratically, so you'll be able to tell whenever you get a bite from a fish if it's a ghost fish or if it's one that you're actually looking for here. And away goes our fishing bonus, alas. Yeah, this is probably going to be a pretty uneventful day until we get to the holiday. But tomorrow is going to be more interesting, because this is going to be kind of like getting the last fall things that I can get. And I'm going to try to remember to get every fall fish that I can, which, if I can, since I'll be able to actually buy the upgrade to the rod, I might actually go for a legendary fish tomorrow. We'll see what happens. Because there's not really much need to farm. Like, I'll pick up what I got, and then I'm kind of just heading out. I do need to donate and, like, take care of the ancient seed stuff, but that's not going to take me all day to do. So other than that, and, like, checking the bulletin board, the big bulletin board, we're going to have pretty much the whole day free to work on it. So I'll take a look, see what fish I'm missing that are going to disappear at the end of fall, and we'll go from there for which ones I have not caught yet. I think I have everything, actually, which sounds a bit surprising. Looking at that quest, or the screen of how much you've got, it's just super empty. But you do have to bear in mind, like I said, 3 of them are in an area we haven't gone. There's several that are only available in winter. It wasn't just those 3 I pointed out either. There are more in winter that are only winter, like the octopus, for example. There's all the stuff from the crab pots that hasn't been donated, so that's also part of it. The 5 legendary fish have not been donated, so those are part of it as well. Or not donated, but caught, rather. It's nice that you don't actually have to sell them in order to get that requirement. Because I know a lot of people, myself included, prefer to keep the legendary fish. Like, I would more likely put them in a fish tank and have that be part of the house. Yeah, I'm going to keep going until, like, basically I run out of time and have to run to the festival. I don't just want to give up until I've been told, hey, you're out of time, you have to give up. Aperitif has begun in the town square. This is another ghost fish, I believe. But hey, maybe there's something worthwhile in the chest? Nah, just some bait. Part of me was internally thinking, like, this is it. This is when we get the dinosaur egg right here. After killing the Rexes and not managing to get one. Despite the fact they have a pretty decent chance to drop it. I think I showed that on screen last episode. I believe it's 10%. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but we've gotten 2 of those floors where they're available. So we've probably killed more than 10, I would wager. Alright, we're going to get a couple more chances here. Depending on how fast or slow the, Oh, here we go. This looks like one. Let me quiet here and focus. There we go. Oh, freaked out like several times thinking I was going to lose it there. So yeah, if you were wondering why you were like, wow, why did you think it was going to be so much more erratic with the lava eel? That was why. That was more the pattern I was expecting for the lava eel, which is why I'm confused as to why it just, like, gave up. It was really bizarre. Hi, Delta. Have you had a productive fall? I have. It's starting to get quite cold. The crops won't hold out much longer. Aunt Marnie, I want to go in the maze. I'm not scared. Well, Haley's not too proud to admit that she's too scared. So most of what we got here is pretty much just decorative. I am going to take the recipe for the jack-o'-lantern. I don't really feel like I need to buy them, per se. While they are cool, I would rather just make my own. As for what's left here, I do need to get the rare crow, so I'm going to pick that up. And I actually do like this rug a lot, because it's a purple rug. I know, I'm shallow, but I do like them, so pick up a couple of those. And I guess a gravestone. I normally never pick these up, but I'll grab one. Don't get too close to the cage. I have no idea how these skeletons are walking. Creepy. It's pretty cool, though. Why is there no more pumpkin ale? Pam. One of my iridium-infused maces would make quick work of these things. Well, winter's almost here. It's a great time to stockpile wood and stone. It is. Haven't seen Mara in hours. I hope she's alright. She's in the maze. It's a lot of fun to cook with pumpkin. Such an interesting fruit. Why, hello, Delta. It's chilly, isn't it? It is indeed. You're free to come at... I'll come to any event with free grub. You won't see me in the haunted maze, though. Good evening, Delta. Have you ventured into the haunted maze yet? It's quite spooky. Mother won't let me go into the maze. What else did Lewis have to say? The strange man who lives in the tower set it up himself. He wouldn't let anyone near it while he was working on it. Vincent's upset I won't let him go into the haunted maze, but he's just a little boy. I get scared very easily. I'll leave the haunted maze to younger people. Hi. Sorry, mouthful of blackberries. Hey, Emily. Do you like the jack-o'-lanterns? I carved them myself. Yeah, they look good. They look real good. Anybody, like, up and around here? No, I guess not. Alright, into the maze we go. This is obviously your big event. Hey, Mario. I think I've already been this way. No, wait. I'm lost. Indeed, it would appear so. Hey, Harvey, you're just kind of staring at a wall. Oh, you found me. The truth is I got scared in here, so I came to hide. Don't tell anyone. I mean, you could just go out and be like, yeah, I'm kind of hungry, so I gave up and came to get some food. Look at those hands waving about. Dave, from this cauldron, it's making my head spin, but I can't seem to leave. Yeah, kind of spooky there. Yeah, the maze itself is not too terribly difficult. There's one part that's a little strange, but I'll point it out when we get there. There's something weird over there, but how do I get to it? Yeah, there is a treasure chest. It's got to be a secret passage around here. There is. There is indeed. But for now, it's just a normal maze, so it's pretty easy. Can't go on. Spiders. Yeah. Know the feeling. Yeah, because you know if they hadn't been there, Abigail probably would have solved the maze. That's odd. It's just a dead end up ahead. Could have sworn there was someone ahead of me when I went through the maze, though. Where'd they go? Yeah, so there's just a little sign with a question mark, but you can actually walk right through this section. Kind of go around this tree and up back through here. And as you go, you can see Linus and the wizard are both up here. Sadly, you're not close enough to be able to talk to them, but that's where you go in order to get a golden pumpkin. You received a golden pumpkin. It's valuable, but has no other purpose. Yeah, that's pretty much it. You can sell it for money, or you can keep it as a decorative item, which I'm going to do with this first one here. I'll probably sell the later one, but I also may not come to the event as much, because that's basically it. Like I said, yeah, the rare crow and this golden pumpkin are basically the two big things you need. You don't get anything else. There's no star drop or rare items, so kind of once you've gotten them the first time, you really don't need to come here again. And your time between 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock might have been better spent working on other things. It is kind of a shame, but that can be how the holidays play out here. They can kind of just be a case of they're just blocking you from getting into town. But yeah, that's it. It's cool, but also kind of a letdown in that regard. But that's it for the Spirit's Eve. I know you were expecting a bit more, and don't worry, when I played, I was expecting a bit more as well. It really is a shame, though. I'll keep that set of ghost fish. I'll get rid of that one. Cave jelly will stay here. The ice pip and the lava eel will stay here. Put the bait away. Yeah, I'll go ahead and keep these all. I'll get like 24 of each, and then I'll sell the rest. Right, I don't need these or that, and that's pretty much all I'm going to sell. Well, now I can sell the Joja Cola. The rest of this is going to go in here for the time being, while the recycling machine is going to be working overtime for a little bit here. Oh good, these are done. I can actually move these a little bit, and the jade is done as well. So I think for the time being, I'm actually going to take the little bonsai tree off, and I'm going to switch it with the golden pumpkin. It's a bit of a shame, understandable why, because Halloween's at the end of the month, but it's a bit of a shame that you get like a fall decoration, then it's like, yeah, now that we've got this fall decoration, we're going to, you know, go to winter, basically. There we go. Move this over here. You can move an object, like a chest that's full, instead of picking everything out by running into it the direction you want it to go and then hitting it with the axe or pickaxe. That's how you move it. So we'll put these two things in there. And the rare crows well. So we've got 1, 2, 7, 8, and 5. So we need 3, 4, and 6 are the ones we're missing. The snowman one that I've seen in the traveling merchant is one of those. So we do need to pick that up at some point. I suppose it will. Yeah, it's not going to let me put that underneath. That is kind of the downside with the rugs, is you can't put them in underneath anything that's already there. But it's like, you should be able to, honestly. I'm going to put the kegs up here for the time being, but that said, I don't actually think I'm going to put anything in them tonight. No, I should. I should go ahead and put something in them. I was going to say, because one of the plans that I have is to build a shed, and they would be going in there instead, but that's going to take a couple days to build, so we might as well hold off on that, I suppose. We're getting pretty low on melons, so I think this is going to be the last bit of the melon wine that I create. And that is it for the Spirit's Eve. Luckily, we did make quite a bit off of our farming with the stuff we threw in there. Those pumpkins, man, like, just between the gold and the silver star one, that's almost 20,000 alone. Alright, the last day of fall is here. And like I said, there are quite a few things I want to do. We have a rainy day. Our gold watering can is ready, too. I'll need to take care of that. Nice little strategy you can do there. If something's bouncing around, you can, at least in single player, pause the game and let it go into your inventory instead of waiting so you're not using up time. I see a crow. You better not have been going after my crops, crow. And the last day of the cranberries, for at least this year. So we get one last influx of money from farming before it all goes dark. I did see that we have mail, but I'm going to kind of wait on that and see what pops up. There are quite a few things that I want to do today. I want to get that shed built. I want to make sure I've got my silos fully stocked out with hay, obviously. I want to sell that ancient seed and get started in the greenhouse for sure. I want to get the fishing rod and get all the fish that I need to that are in the fall taken care of. It's quite a bit to do today. It's a bit of a sharp contrast to the previous day where there admittedly wasn't much. Also, as a reminder, if you do have farm animals and you do not have a heater for the coop or barns that you've got, now would be the time to get those taken care of. Alright. I'd like to store those, and I don't really think anything else here. Yeah, we've got 10 eggplant. I feel like that's probably plenty. Of course, store this. Oh, and the sunflower seeds, we can put those away too. And away goes everything else. Alright, our mail. Dear Delta, here's an old recipe that my grandma passed down to me. Enjoy. New cooking recipe, pumpkin soup. How fitting. Delta made you a little treat this morning in the saloon. Dig in, your friend Gus. Gus, you're too good to me, my man. You're way too good to me. I could go ahead and use that now, but I think I'm going to hold on to it for the time being. Do appreciate it, though. But yeah, I'm going to hold on to it for now. And put the bamboo pole away. I'm kind of debating what to do first. I'm going to check the materials needed for the shed, because I might not have enough wood, and if that's the case, I need to go and chop some down. So I'm going to check that real quick, and we'll be right back. Alright, we're back. We actually do have enough, but it is barely enough, so if I've got extra time, that might be what I end up doing. Got more of these. Send more out. We do have plenty of money, so I do want to get... Didn't I have one more thing I needed to... No, actually I didn't. Yeah, because Axe, pickaxe, hoe. The watering can's in the shop, so I actually don't need to upgrade anything else. At least not in regards to that. I guess we'll get the pan upgraded? Sure. I could go up to iridium, but I think I'm going to wait for right now on that. So let's go get some of this stuff knocked out here. It's locked. Oh, of course it's freaking locked. Not the bus stop. Let's see if we can get to Robin's. If she also opens at 9, by the time I get there, she'll be open, but I do need to check the traveling merchant if I get an opportunity to do that. So if I do need to cut down trees, I'll probably head to Cindersap Forest before I go anywhere else. Yeah, you're also open at 9, but luckily, I'm basically here at 9, so we're good to go there. Alright, farm buildings. Shed, an empty building, fill it with whatever you like the interior. Can be decorated, 15,000 G and 300 wood. The big problem I have is where I'm going to put this. I was initially thinking here, but it kind of gets a little in the way. So I'm not really sure where to put it. If the trees here were all grown inside of the greenhouse, I'd actually cut these down and probably go ahead and replace it. I think for now, because you can always move these later. I think here, actually. Okay, I'll start working on your shed first thing tomorrow morning. Cool, thanks. If I wanted to really sprint through this, I probably would have just taken a warp totem to the beach, but I can also just go back to town and kind of do things in a different order and take care of it that way. Alright, mister. I had to wait for your shop to open, but luckily I've got the gold watering can now. Won't be much help in the immediate future, as there will not be many crops to water, and even if there were, that's what the sprinklers are for. Alright, I was joking about the warp totem with the beach, but you know what? Now that you just gave me 2 of them, maybe I will end up doing that. I still gotta donate that ancient seed, though. I don't want to forget that. That's probably the most important thing to do today, to be perfectly honest. Can we perhaps get any of the missing ones? I don't think we are. Doesn't look like it. I don't think any of these are missing. Nope, doesn't look like it. Alright. You can take those back. Upgrade tools. We could have done the trash can, but the steel pan is probably more important than the trash can. So, has a bigger and better yields. Oh, I don't know where I got the A from. Has bigger and better yields than a copper pan. It also has a small chance to immediately cause another panning spot to appear. I don't remember that being part of it, but I'm not complaining about that. Let's do it. Hey, Penny. Alright, I did double check. Basically, this is the only real use for the ancient seed, so don't feel bad that I'm doing this, but here we go. When you donate the ancient seed to the museum, you will get, not the warp totems, but I guess you'll get those too, sure. You'll get ancient seeds and the recipe for crafting ancient seeds. As for the recipe for crafting them, I'm gonna guess it's probably just the ancient seed itself. But thankfully for us, the ancient seed is one of those objects. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and warp, I think. I know it's not a lot of time, but it's some. The ancient seed, whenever you grow it, is one of those continues to produce more on harvest. There we go. Here's the crab pots, and like I said, most of the time you get kind of crap from these. And a couple of crabs. That was about it. I'm just going to go ahead and sell these, I think. Alright, it is high time I did this. The iridium rod. Use in the water to catch fish. It's got the option for a lure and for bait. I'm going to do it. At long last. I know you're thinking of, like, if you played before, it's like, oh, but you're already maxed when it comes to, like, the other thing you've been coy about, you can just you know, upgrade on that. And it's like, yeah, but that's probably not what you should upgrade first on that set, so I'm not gonna worry about that. There is a method to the madness. Put this in here. I do not need these for the time being. Put the watering can away too, because I definitely don't need that right now. I'm still lowest on iron, so I think I'm gonna keep working on that. I did say I wanted to do iridium sprinklers in the greenhouse. I'm only gonna make one right now though, so I'm not gonna go completely overboard or anything. And believe it or not, in the case for what we're doing with the ancient fruit, the speed grow is going to be your better friend over the fertilizer here. Oh, I do have the... Well, I will actually need the watering can. For only this first day, I will need it. So, let's go ahead and grab it. Where are you? I think for now I'm just going to stick to this little corner pocket over here. There's no need to do anything fancy, so that'll work just as well. So this waters the 24 adjacent tiles every morning. So we've got 1 and 2, so I believe it will need to be put here. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then it would be 8 on the other 3 sides. So that would be your 24 tiles right there. So we'll put it here. Whack the speed grow down, whack the ancient seed down, and there we go. We'll let it do its thing. They take a long time to grow, so do not expect to see any result from that from wild. I believe it's basically a full month, 20 days, it'll pop up on screen. But once it has, and this will also be on screen if I remember to, once it has fully grown, it will produce at a faster rate after that, so we'll at least have that to look forward to. There's the fishing. As for the bait and stuff I'm going to put on it, I think we'll just go with increased bite rate and just try to get through that quickly. In order to put the bait on the rod, you just right-click, same with the hook, and there you go. Done. Easy as that. From here, I do want to check Traveling Merchant. So I think I'm going to do that next, and while I'm walking over there, I'm also going to check and see which fish I don't have that I can pick up right now. Excluding legendary fish and crab pot stuff. I'm looking for specifically fish that are only available in the fall that will disappear. And looking at this list, I actually don't think there's much. Because most of this stuff down here, like, looking at it, it's like these stonefish, legendary fish. These are the crab pot things all right here. These are for a quest that's actually different types of legendary fish, winter fish in an area we can't get to. I'm not sure what that one is. So I don't think we're actually missing that many, but I want to make absolutely sure, because if it's something that's not available for a while, we're not really going to get another chance at it. So I'll be right back. Yeah, it looks like we're good. There's only one thing that I need to catch, and that's the legendary fish that's available in fall, so we'll do that, of course. I'm going to grab the axe, and I think work on chopping down trees on the way there to build up that wood. Oh, one other thing I need to take with me. If I take it with me, I'll remember. In fact, I may just go ahead and do it right this second. Sorry, I had to do one more quick check there to make sure that if that fish was available at a certain time, that legendary fish. But it's any weather, any time of day, so we're good on that front. Doesn't really matter how I cut this since it's going to disappear, so I'm just going to keep going until I see that hay is no longer appearing above my head. Well, I was expecting it to have disappeared a little while ago by now, but... Yeah, you can see now, because I really don't have as many animals as I possibly could. You can see now why I would have recommended, like, with a silo of... I think now we've gotten to it. Why one silo might not have been enough. If you had a ton of animals, like, you know, you'd filled up the barn and coop completely, and you'd only had one silo, we would have been decently low on hay at that point. There we go, 6 chops and a tree is downed. I'm going to be more focused on catching the legendary fish. I was really only going to go for trees that I saw on the way there. Complete breakfast. This is one of Alex's favorites. Spaghetti, apricot, sapling, blueberry seeds, slime, lobster, midnight carp. That rare crow is here. I might go ahead and grab that. Oh, and there is a fez, sure enough. Well, I do like that painting. I'm actually going to grab that. That's decently cheap. And I'm going to grab that rare crow as well. There we go. Now we are only missing 3 of them, if I remember correctly. Or maybe even only 2. I think I'm just going to move this stuff down here and rotate some stuff, and then we're going to make an attempt for that legendary fish. And no, that's probably not worth the sprinting power. So I've talked a little bit about the legendary fish, but not too terribly much in like how you get them, where they are, etc. There are 5 in total. 1 is available year-round. It's actually in the sewer, if you can believe it. And the other ones, there's 1 available on each season. So the one for the fall season is, I believe, the Angler, is what it's called. There are only very specific tiles that you can find these legendary fish in. So if you're watching me and thinking, oh, I haven't tried fishing there, that would be why you couldn't find it. The one for the Angler is on the bridge just above Jojamart up here. It is this bridge right here. Just double check to make sure I could fish up or down. Yeah, you can fish in either direction to find this. I'll have the little thing on screen showing like, hey, these are the tiles that you can find this. But the requirement for this is actually pretty generous. It's not the hardest one to catch, though, but you only need level 3 fishing in order to attempt this challenge. Would I recommend doing this on level 3? Absolutely not. The legendary fish are probably something you want to be at level 10 before even attempting, and I think in the case of the toughest one, you have to be level 10, but I could be wrong about that. Sure, I don't really need these, but thanks. And as you can tell, obviously, it's not going to be a guarantee that the first time you cast out here, you're going to find the legendary fish. It might give you some other stuff, too. Oops. Which is fine in the sense of, like, catching stuff, great, but in this case, I'm kind of more wanting to focus on it. You'll also know the legendary fish, A, by the fact it will be insanely erratic, and B, the little icon of the fish itself that you've been seeing all this time will be different. It'll look different. It won't look like the little fish you're seeing right here on screen. It'll have a little icon on it and be a darker shade of blue. That must have been a new record for the smallmouth bass, because I know we've caught one before. There it is. Yeah, you can tell this is a lower level legendary fish. It's not like the Legend, which is, I believe, probably the hardest one to catch. This one's barely putting up any of a fight at all. But it'll tell you, too. It says you've caught one of the legendary fish, so hell yeah to that. Uses a bioluminescent dangler to attract prey. Such a fun word to say, bioluminescent. Alright, that was pretty much all the big stuff I wanted to do for the day. So now I think we're going to work on restocking wood, because we are running pretty low, and I do plan on doing a lot of construction projects in the winter because, you know, again, with our farming, there's not much to do there. So there'll be a fair bit of getting that last combat level, I would wager, and doing a lot of building projects. Sort of getting ready for when spring rolls around, I'll have the farm looking more polished, more... It'll look more uniform and pretty, I suppose. It's like I said, in year one, it's not too terribly important. It's more about, do you have plenty of space for your crops? And ideally as well, are they automatically being watered for you? And since the answer to both of those is now yes, we can focus on making it look a little bit nicer now. But that will be a winter project. Probably closer to the end of winter for beautifying it. But of course, we're still going to want to have other stuff built. In a normal run-through, I wouldn't have even have built the coop and the barn by this point. I would have probably waited until winter or maybe even spring of year 2 before I started on those. How often do you see 2 artifact tiles right next to each other like that? Sorry about that. I somehow managed to click out of my full screen window. Don't ask me how, but I managed it. That's all that's over here. We'll go to the little back alley area, clean up anything there, and then we'll go into the forest. I think the rest of our time will be spent there. On the very unlikely off chance we actually have more time, maybe I'll try to go catch the stonefish, but if not, that's okay. The stonefish, like all the other 2 cave fish, are year-round, so we'd still be able to pick it up then. Which makes sense, you know, it's like it's so deep underground that why would the weather above the surface really affect it? Alright, legendary fish, you can go in there. How am I looking for everything else? I don't appear to have any salmon, so I'll hang on to those. Didn't have any smallmouth bass. I think I had to give one up for something. Just kind of flushing them through here. And I do have the catfish, so I'll go ahead and sell both of those. Sell that. I don't need the skeletal tail. Don't need the torches. Anything else in here? The powder melons will go in here for the time being. Put these away. So yeah, which ones were we missing now? So you have 1, 2, we're missing 3, 4, 5. So we need 3 and 6 are the 2 that we're missing. I know one of them, I think it's 3, but I could be wrong. It doesn't really matter which it is. One of them is by donating enough things to the museum, but they have to be enough artifacts. So I know I don't have that one because I've been really bad about donating the artifacts specifically. So that's where one of them is. And I think I have a pretty good hunch where the other one is, and we can't really access that one right now either. So that will probably be the last one we'll get for a fair bit of time. There is a reward for collecting them all, if you can believe it. It's not just a, like, hey, this is a fun little collection type of thing you can do. It is, but, you know, there's actually something substantial to doing it as well. This might be a day where if I do not make it back in time before I pass out, I will probably be okay with that. I really do need to restock, and I'm not really going to find an immediately good day to do it after this, I don't think. You get that rare spot of your end-of-month projects are all kind of wrapped up, so there's not really anything else to do. thing about the shed that we're building is we can actually upgrade that shed, but of course that's going to require more material, and wood is part of that material, same as it is for quite a bit of things. We could still use it for that. We could still use it to continue to upgrade the house. I don't think all of the house upgrades require wood. Some require hardwood. But my point still stands. However much wood you think you need in the game, you're probably going to end up needing at least 10 times that amount. Looks like we'll get a pretty good chunk of the woods cleared out here, which is good. Yeah, I think I'm just going to let myself take the penalty, to be perfectly honest with you. I think getting the trees chopped down is more important. Oh, that was the bush up there. I was thinking there was one in between that and the bush. Nope. I think that's going to be the last one, yep. But we picked up a good bit of wood there, 624. I'm happy with that. We used about 300, so we made double of what we had. Oh. There was a strong windstorm during the night. Oh, I hope I remember that in the next video. It's going to be a while before I record again, so I hope I remember that. There we go. That's everything. Let's take a look at where we're sitting at the end of fall now, the beginning of winter. $479,426 gold. You're missing one level up in combat, and that is it. We're doing pretty good socially. You can see people have changed their clothes. Linus kind of looks particularly notable. Looks way different, but yeah. People have changed into their winter attire. Map, of course, looks quite a bit different. We'll show that really quickly. Our animals will be primarily inside, of course. Let's show the... I'm sure living off the land is probably here, yeah, because a new season has started. Winter, a time when all the world goes quiet. Now's a great time to do some mining, fishing, and gathering. Upgrade your tools in preparation for a productive spring, or get your local carpenter to build something on your farm. Stock up on resources, upgrade, and prepare for the next year. Yep, that's very true. We've really done all the fishing we need to, other than, like, specifically winter fish. Mining we'll still be working on. Gathering, probably not that much. Tool upgrades, I do plan on doing more tool upgrades. I don't know what my big goals are going to be. Getting everything to Iridium seems like a pretty big task, but it might be manageable. It kind of depends on how much money we spend on things like the house upgrades and building other things like, you know, additional construction things. But yes, very, I'm going to skip Evelyn, I'm sorry. Very, very different look now. The world has in fact gone very quiet. Looks a lot different out here. But don't be fooled, there are still plenty of things to do in winter, and we will show those off next time. It will probably be a little while before you see any more videos from this. I'm thinking likely by the time this video gets posted, there's a very good chance I will be at or near by vacation time. And I might do some recording while I'm there. It would be kind of cool to do it, but obviously I want my focus to be on, like, enjoying the trip more. That would be more of a downtime thing, but I'll still have my laptop with me and still be able to play and edit. So, we'll see how things go. Until then, thank you all for watching and enjoying the season of fall with me, and next time on Stardew Valley, we will be heading into the final season of the first year. Till then, take care, and I will see you all in the next one. Later.